In a market defined by uncertainty, where every second counts, one opportunity can change everything. Are you ready to make your move? The time is now! Welcome to the Dream is Real podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Dream is Real podcast. This is the place if you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or advance your career in New York real estate. Before we get started, make sure that you are liking, sharing, subscribing. Turn on those notifications. We don't want you to miss anything as we keep bringing you great episodes. Today is no different. I'm with Win Chen of the Designery. Win, how are you?
Good.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
Glad you're here. Glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
So, want to learn a little bit more about you. You touch on some very important parts of the home, and you're very innovative in what you do. So, I think our audience is in for a treat. Tell us about you and the Designery.
So I'm actually an architect and work in the construction industry for more than 20 years. We have the Designery kitchen, bath, closet showroom. We offer design services, cabinetry, everything from countertops, backsplashes, flooring, design for kitchens, bathrooms, and custom closets for homeowners and or contractors that we work with on a regular basis.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How did you get into the industry? Is it something that you always thought about doing, or?
It's something that I know there's always a constant need for. It's something that every person, homeowner, eventually in their lifetime, once or twice, needs to fulfill the need for. I think it's something that customers and clients will always seek to have guidance and services for, and there's always an economic need. And we're here to be able to provide our knowledge and our experience to fulfill the customer's needs. You know, we're here to serve, to do good work and provide good services. Yeah.
So you said that you're an architect.
Yeah.
Did you start out focusing on these areas of the home, or how did you get into that part of the space?
So definitely all of my technical training and background lends well and transitions well to homeowners. But you know, it's been very specific in terms of larger scale complex projects, but this is more of a personal entrepreneur opportunity that, you know.
What kind of projects have you worked on, large scale wise?
Oh, a lot of civil buildings, schools, public buildings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What's when you look at both, what is it that you love about the residential side?
Being able to see satisfied customers and being able to utilize the spaces on a day-to-day basis is fulfilling to see a new space, you know, meeting the dreams of customers and clients and being able to meet their needs.
So when you look at kitchens, bathrooms, closets, anytime you show a house, that's the homeowners and potential homeowners, that's what they're looking for, right? The kitchen, the bathroom, the closet.
Yeah.
With the closet space, I know my wife needs room for all her shoes. So
Yeah, I think those three aspects of the house really sells a house and maintains its value. So, you know, any capital investment in those components of the house maintains its value. You know, if you spend your money wisely within those aspects, its usefulness, its functionality at the time of sales or transition to other owners, you know, the value stays within the capital asset.
Are you seeing any changes in the industry, any trends right now that you could maybe share with us? You know, it's one thing if you're going to invest in it, you want to make sure that you're investing in the either probably, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you're investing in something that's going to stand the test of time, or you're taking advantage of a trend that's going on?
Yeah, so definitely conservative design, timeless design aspects are important in our approach. We like to be not necessarily on the overly trending wise, but we want to be conservative in terms of thinking that it'll, like you said, stand the test of time. Whites and off-whites, wood tones, and the earthy colors of blues, greens, and light browns, grays, So those are kind of trendy colors that will test the time.
Anytime you're looking to take on a project like that, it could be overwhelming. There's just a ton of options out there,
Yeah.
right? You walk into any of these tile stores, we won't name names, and it's like, what do I go with? How does your company make sure that the homeowner gets what they want and also is guided in a direction that's going to be the best for them long term?
So we actually prioritize on layout to make sure that the kitchen, bathrooms functions well. That's our priority. And then we'll go into the style, utilizing inspirational photos to put together the design. We'll put together different layout options and functional and finish options for the homeowners and customers to be able to understand different options to maximize the use and the value of their investment.
So let's go down the line. Let's start in the kitchen because that's arguably the heart of the home. What are some of the important factors in a kitchen that will, one, help you to maintain and increase the value, but also to best utilize, and to use your term, to maximize that space?
So, like I said earlier, the functionality is important. Location of the three key aspects, which is the sink, the range, and the refrigerator, is most important. Not to have any conflicting traffic circulation, proper clearances in terms of aisle spaces, so that somebody's working at the sink doesn't have conflict with somebody working at the stove, and there's proper clearance for circulation. How many people are going to be working in the kitchen? Is there seating for serving, for eating? So all of that goes into consideration in terms of the layout. Subsequent to that, we like to maximize storage space. We like to maximize functionality, customizations in terms of accessories, but all of that is specific to each client's needs. So we kind of have to make sure we understand their useful, what their day-to-day operations and what their needs are, to be able to incorporate that into the design.
And is that something that you implement and discover early on in the process of working with a client?
Yeah, so definitely from the beginning, we'll have to see what their program intent requirements are. So we'll gather that prior to putting pencil to paper in terms of putting the schematic design together. Through that process, there's going to be a few reiterations, maybe a few initial options, and then refinement. And there's going to be a couple rounds of changes, just the nature of the aspect of design, from schematic to design development to finalization. So there is a systematic process to that to ensure that all of the comments are being addressed appropriately.
You know, I hear the way you describe all of this, and you're talking as if you are building a large public, a public building. Does your experience as an architect on those larger projects, you think, lend well to this? Because we talk with a lot of individuals that work on the same areas, but it seems like you really hone in on the overall function of everything.
Yes, I tend to be able to guide and educate customers and clients through the different aspects of the project, because it could be daunting at first to go into a big scale project like this. It's something that you haven't done previously and a lot of unknowns. But for us, we have the expertise and the experience to be able to guide you, give you the advance notice, to be able to give you the proper options to select from, to be able to make the right selections.
And to your point earlier, this is something a homeowner might do once, maybe twice. So when you make that decision, you make that decision. There's very little in the way of going back unless you want, it could be very costly to do that. What would you say are some of the biggest mistakes in the kitchen that maybe if they weren't working with somebody like you who's very meticulous and making sure that, all the details are there, what are some mistakes that a homeowner could make?
So we utilize advanced technology to be able to provide that kind of input and visualization for the customers and clientele. So in addition to fixed renderings, we provide interactive 3D renderings. We also do virtual reality walkthroughs. So the customer is able to visually see spatial configurations, dimension-wise, clearance-wise, understand what they're going to be getting before it's actually built.
Hence the VR headset that you had when you walked in.
Yes, yes.
All right, so I've been waiting to get to this. So what exactly do you do with the VR headset?
So people in the industry are more adept into looking at plans and elevations, but those are two-dimensional documents. Not everybody's accustomed or trained to visualize in 3D. So we utilize these two technologies, the interactive 3D renderings and the virtual reality headset, to help customers understand in 3D spatial configuration what the finished product will look like. It gives them a sense of scale, a sense of composition and context in terms of the height, the width, how big an island would be, what the clearances are, really be able to understand the functionality of the space.
So they get to virtually walk into their kitchen, their bathroom, their closet before it's even
Yes.
built, implemented. So,
Yeah.
wow. Tell me more about that, about that experience, and maybe even how you came up with that.
Yeah. So it's not only can you use it for layouts and configuration, you can also use it for finishes and color selections. If you wanted all white, off-white perimeter cabinets and an accent color island, or a lower color, a dual tone color kitchen with a darker color base with the lighter upper, we can create all those scenarios and be able to visualize, that within the virtual headset. We also do that for scenarios where you're taking a wall down, expanding a room, combining it to make it a larger kitchen. So before your contractor even demos or uses a hammer in the job site, they're able to see if they want to make any tweaks, changes, modifications. It's also a cost savings opportunity to avoid any mistakes.
Sure.
We do that for bathrooms as well. So there's a job we're working on where it was an 80s bathroom where we reconfigured the whole space. It was full of mirrors previously when it was, stylish at the time. And now it's all spa-like finishes.
And you leverage tools that are on the market. Obviously, we know the Meta VR headset is, but is this something that you had designed, or are you using the?
It's part of our franchises services that we offer. There's systems in place that we just utilize, specifically Pro Kitchen. Is the software that we utilize.
Got it. So they're able to, by calling you at the Designery of Williston Park, right?
Yes, correct.
They're able to get access to maybe some tools that they wouldn't have elsewhere. So I'm interested. You brought it. Are we able to experience it?
Of course.
Take a look.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. So
Here we go.
see. All right. Let's fit with my glasses on.
You could take your glasses off.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Here. Let me see. I'm going to describe what we have here because I know what okay. All right. So, what do I hit? Resume?
Yeah, or you can just move forward a little bit so you're in the zone, the safety zone.
Oh, is that what it is? Hold on. Hold on. Oh, hold on. All right. So right now.
Yeah, you can pan around and
this
see.
This is very cool. So, in front of me, I have the island. I have a big picture window. Have the sink, have the
range,
the range, and the refrigerator. Nice cabinets. Oh, I could really, I could totally. I have the same color floor. Yeah.
You can tweak and change. We can make changes so you can really understand what your options are. Like the navy blue beverage area, we can make that green.
Yep, you even have the Dream Select blue on the on the
wall there.
on the cabinets. Yeah, nice backsplash. This is really something special. I've never seen anything. I've never personally experienced anything like
Yeah, we
this.
can, for example, modify the size of the island to see if we can fit in additional seating. So there's
And now, is that something that you control outside of this as I'm watching? If we were having that experience, or is that something I can do from?
So
my
what I
vantage
have to
point?
do is I would have to update the design with the
Okay.
software and send you the customer a link. If you have a headset at home, you can actually see this for yourself. All you need is the live link to the updated file.
Oh, so somebody who has the same equipment could do virtually the
Yeah, but I will have to update the design
Got it.
so that all of the revisions are included as such.
Wow, that was great. I'm hoping that we can get some of that experience on there. If not, take my word for it. It was very, very, very cool. So you do that for kitchens, you do that for bathrooms. I think that's absolutely an advantage because it's hard to imagine. I did a bathroom not that long ago, and there's a little bit of anxiety of you hope it's you pick out all the fixtures, you pick out the tile, you pick out everything that you need, but what's it going to look like? You really don't know. But with this, you do.
Yeah, we can actually plug in the different types of finishes. If it's a darker color floor, if it's a fluted tile, an accent wall behind the vanity, we can plug those in so you can, it's to actually visualize to see, schematically, context-wise what you'll be getting. Yeah.
Very cool. And you will guide the client on what's available in the way of tile, what could match. I mean, obviously
Of course.
I'm sure you've done many, many projects, so you know what works. And so you
Yeah,
can
the
take
colors that complement each other, the warmer tones mixed in with some of the neutrals, as opposed to just having cold colors throughout the bathroom and not seeing the warmth of the space.
You had mentioned whites, off whites, like
earthy colors.
Earthy colors. Translating over to bathrooms, is that still the same trend, or is there something that's a little bit more timeless or different for the bathrooms?
Similarly, instead of just cold colors, light wood stained vanities are very popular now. Emphasize that with a little bit of the off-white as opposed to just sterile white and the grays. There's the use of accent colors, textures on the tiles itself, and the glazing in terms of the texture not being completely flat. So there's a mix of different sizes, textures, and colors that we can utilize and incorporate into different moods for different uses of the space.
What about breakdown of tile? It's one of the things I remember kind of hemming and hawing about. Do I match the floor with the wall in the shower? Do I mix and match? Do I take the niche and change? What do you think is the best practice for tile throughout the bathroom?
Utilizing different sizing and different tile selections gives you an opportunity to create personality within a space instead of using one standard tile throughout the room. There's been scenarios where we've worked with contractors that they chose one tile throughout the whole room and they wanted some personality, and they bring us in to help them retrofit some of the selections with an accent wall behind the vanity, a little bit of warmth around the shower surround, a little bit of different type of material for the vanities. So there's the opportunity to make it personal with different tile selections, colors, and textures.
Do you see any trends right now? Anything popular that's worth mentioning as far as bathrooms go?
I think fluted tiles and textured tiles is something that's kind of popular at this time.
Right.
Yeah, utilizing different textures, and leaning away from glossy finishes too much.
Got it. So would that be more of a matte? Is that right?
Yeah, matte and fluted,
fluted.
and then textured. So having just a high gloss throughout is not so trendy anymore. Yeah.
Are you seeing more folks go with a tub, or removing and just doing more of the stand-up shower?
So definitely the direction has been leaning away from tubs. So a lot of walk-in showers and shower enclosures and freestanding tubs where the room allows. Where room does not allow, then most of the time it's shower stalls,
Right.
in lieu of the tubs. Yeah.
So you are seeing more of the freestanding tubs or less?
Where space allows, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it takes a little bit more room to be able to fit a freestanding tub. But we do recommend if there's a house with 2 or 3 bathrooms that at least one of the bathrooms still has a tub for families with younger kids.
Right. Yeah. Right. That makes a lot of sense. So if you're looking to sell your home and you're looking to revamp the bathroom, if you have the one tub, you're thinking probably keep the tub for if you can, because there may be a family coming along, and that might be a deciding factor.
Yeah, younger kids, it is more helpful to bathe in a tub than utilizing a shower stall.
Sure. Now, closets. I'm sure closets, depending upon the space, obviously very, very important. A home that lacks storage is also that could be a mark against you trying to sell. So let's talk a little bit about what makes a viable, usable, effective closet.
So closets usefulness is you having organization in your life, efficiency, and maximizing storage space. So a lot of times you're cramming things in and trying to fit without utilizing all of the space that is included in a closet. So by having a custom closet system, you have the opportunity to maximize the vertical space. We tend to utilize that more by double hangers, shelving. And then upgrades from there would be drawers and doors and shoe racks and different types of configuration and customization. But the trick is to utilize the verticality of this closet space.
I'm sure that you've worked within closets of all different shapes and sizes, because even Long Island, there's some unique home layouts here. So are you able to maximize even small closets, like smaller sized? To make them more useful?
Yeah, so there's a job we did recently where it's the eave of the roof, and there's one side that's full height and the other side is lower ceilings, and we're still able to fit in different configurations because this is a custom system where they can still maximize storage solutions.
What are some of the we'll call them features that you could put into a closet that maybe our audience doesn't realize are even available? You think of closet, you think of a place to hang your clothes, maybe a couple drawers, but how creative can you get inside of a closet?
There's also built-in hampers. There's tie hooks, jewelry trays within drawers. People also utilize this closet system for pantries to maximize storage in terms of multi-level shelving, in terms of deeper shelving units. So this system can be utilized in many different ways.
So looking back at all the projects that you've done, do you have a few that stand out that you are particularly proud of?
We take every project, very importantly, from simple islands where customers come to us with a kitchen that they want to permanently add an island to their space, to a full out, new build kitchen with a homeowner or a contractor. So we take every project, seriously to ensure that the customers, every customer's needs are unique, and we try to make sure we understand each person's needs and include that into the design and make sure it's included before we actually implement and proceed with the building of the kitchen, bath, or closet.
And you work direct with the homeowner, but you also work with contractors as well. Is that more on the new construction side or?
So it's a mix. There's contractors that do renovations. There's contractors that are building spec homes. So we work with a variety of different contractors. We're there to collaborate with other businesses as well, support them to be able to get more jobs, fulfill their customer needs as well, so that in return, we build a good working relationship, but B2B, B2C relationships.
If you had to rate them, kitchens, bathrooms, closets, in the context of real estate, how would you rank them? One being most important, three being important, but maybe not quite as. Are you able to do that? Is that a curveball?
I would say kitchens, definitely. Kitchens, they're the heart of the homes. That's where the gathering happens. It's the room that's most utilized for day-to-day use to, family gatherings during holidays.
Kitchens would be number one?
Yes, kitchens for sure. Yeah.
Got it. Bathrooms number two?
Bathrooms are number two, yes.
Got it.
Closets would be, an amenity
Sure.
as a bonus.
Right. Yeah, you don't notice the closet until you don't have one that's effective, right?
Yes, or you're trying to declutter your mess, yes.
Well, it seems like definitely homeowners, contractors, investors would benefit from reaching out to you. Kind of give us a sense of what to expect and why they should reach out to you at the Designery of Williston Park.
So we have, ownership participation in all the projects. You get we have a sense of urgency, responsiveness for the services that we provide, and we ensure that everything will be addressed one way or the other. So that's what differentiates us from other showrooms.
Awesome. And how could our audience get in touch with you if they wanted to book a consultation?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram, Facebook. You can call us direct. We're located at 591 Willis Avenue in Williston Park, just a couple minutes south of exit 37 on the LIE. So.
Awesome. Well, Wyn, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
I really love what you do with virtual reality, and I think that's definitely a benefit for anybody who reaches out to you. And thank you very much for joining us today here on the Dream is Real podcast. If you want to check us out on Instagram or TikTok, it's at Dream Select Realty. On X at Dream Select Home. If you want to be part of the program, just email us at hometeam@dreamselectrealty.com. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time. And remember, the dream is real.